You're listening to End of the Reel.
Oh my god!
G'day everyone, and we're going to be doing Twilight 2.
Twilight
Ethan?
New Moon.
Ah, yes, Twilight New Moon. I
Is
just
that
call
it?
it.
Is it New Moon?
I just
well,
call
it's
it
the
Twilight
second
2.
one, whatever.
You know, actually, something important. I am on good credence. I don't know. Some people told me.
What?
I asked them. They had read Twilight. I've asked now 2 people, and they both said that Bella sucks in the movie, but is a lot better in the book. Same with Edward.
Well, I'm not going to read the
So-
book, so I don't care.
I'm just going to take their word for it. I'm going to take their word for it. They said that they read it when they were 16.
Again, I'm watching the movie, and I think Bella is the worst person ever to exist.
Yeah. No,
Literally the
that's-
worst person.
And then followed closely by Edward.
Well, he's a vampire.
I mean, this is a movie about both of them trying to kill themselves, and I gotta say, I was hoping that they would kill themselves.
One of them should have succeeded.
Yeah.
That would have made for a much better movie.
Oh, it would have been so much better. So, let's get to it. Twilight 2, it is a Romeo and Juliet spin-off. It's a
Well, it
copy.
wants to be because it smacks you in the face with it. It's like they keep quoting Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, yeah.
She's studying Romeo and Juliet. It literally starts with a quote from it.
I think they
And at the
even
same time,
explain-
I don't think they get Romeo and Juliet.
No, they even go over a bit where they're like, wow, that person was gonna die for the lover? That's so silly. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's the writer being like, haha, I get it, self-aware. This is just Romeo and Juliet about how silly they are. So really, hats off to your writer.
I don't know about
Person
that.
I just
but
forgot the name.
I
of.
think this whole thing is just 2 irritating teens who are now joined by another slightly less irritating
the
teen
start.
in Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob is a...
He goes from likable, sort of normal, goofy 16-year-old to really annoying, now werewolf kid.
Yeah, so we start off
I mean,
the...
he's not as bad as Edward, but he's still irritating.
Yeah, so we start off the start of the movie where we're in a dream, I think. Is
Yes.
that the dream sequence?
So the dream sequence starts.
Okay.
She sees her grandmother, who she realizes is actually her holding onto Edward.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her whole thing is that she doesn't want to get old,
Yeah. Just like
which makes a lot of sense, really.
Aragon out of Lord of the Rings.
Is that his thing? I don't
no,
think that's
it's not
his thing
Aragon.
at all.
It's the elf. Glad.
Arwen?
Yeah, she's like, I love him, but then the other elf dude, the
Yeah.
Lord.
Oh, yeah, but he's like, yeah, but he's going to grow old and die.
Yeah.
Here's the difference. Edward can bite her and she can become immortal.
Oh yeah, that's a good
You
point.
see the difference there?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everyone points it out to him. And he still goes, no, because then she'll be a monster just like me.
The weirdest thing is, we've now had 2 movies where the main problem is that she's not a vampire, but it's something that can be very easily changed of him just making her a vampire. And it's not like
Well,
there's
that's this whole
things stopping
movie
it.
is her deciding, is them going, just make her a vampire.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. There's no one actually stopping him from doing it. In actual fact, people want him to
Well,
do it.
to protect
She
her,
wants to do it.
He keeps putting her in danger.
It's yes.
Like every time he goes to, I don't know what he does in this film because he's
Well,
away for like 90% of it.
that's the thing. He leaves
I
so
think
that she won't be in danger.
He travels to South America and
Yeah.
like gets drunk by sunsets or
He
something.
probably went to Whore Island.
Whore Island.
You know Archer?
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
know when he goes off and he's in South America and
he finds Whore Island.
finds Whore
Is that, do you think
Island.
what he's doing?
yeah, of course he does that in
Yeah.
the sun.
So,
Why would he go to South America? It's all sunny.
Jared, you're putting too much thought into
Anyway,
these stupid people.
so-
Even the other vampires think these people are dumb.
Yeah. Basically, I think there's like one thing at a school. When does he leave? Does he turn up at the school and says he's gonna leave?
So,
They go to the incredibly busy
so
car
it's
park
her
at the school.
18th birthday.
Yeah.
She goes to his place where they're throwing his family are throwing her a birthday party because they're like
Oh,
normal.
Yeah.
She slices her hand open with a birthday card somehow.
No.
Someone hands it to her.
Yeah, and she pricks it lightly.
Blood sprays out of this thing.
No,
Like
she-
a John Woo
no,
film, Jared.
No, you're thinking of afterwards.
No. There's literally blood spilling out of her hand.
I don't think so.
It was It was a ridiculous amount. Anyway, that sends Jasper, the youngest
Yeah,
vampire, into a
Jasper.
frenzy.
Do you reckon they're gonna kill him and he's gonna become a ghost afterwards.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Except it's Casper.
Ah, fuck.
Casper the friendly ghost.
Anyway, Jasper, of course, because this is the thing.
So Edward, to
a drop of
protect her,
blood.
throws her into a table and like across the room to slam into a glass wall
Yeah, and she's
or
got herself.
a mirror. So of course now she's bathing in blood.
Now, there's a few things here. First off, the first cut is a paper cut, and she goes, "Oops, paper cut."
Even though
Right.
there's blood everywhere.
No, there's not much blood. It's a
Okay,
paper cut. You're
okay.
thinking of the next scene.
No.
But Jasper loses his shit. Now, I get the whole point that Jasper's girl, what's her name?
Alice.
Alice.
I know the other vampires better than I know Edward.
All right, so
and
Alice,
I like them better than I
Alice
like Edward.
has to stay with Jasper through school and everything. But let's just face it. If anyone cuts themselves or, like, come on. If a single chick has her period, Jasper must be getting
slightest
down on
hint
his
of
knees
blood
and running
sends
across
him
the room.
into a killing frenzy.
How could he go to a school, a co-ed school? How?
I don't even want to get into it.
Because he's straight up any chick, they're gone.
Jared, there's a lot of it that doesn't make sense. Anyway,
yeah.
Something. Okay, so she leaves and goes home, and then I think almost straight away, Edward and his family just disappear.
Yeah, but they say it's because Edward's dad, the doctor.
That's his excuse.
Yeah, they say that
He's like,
the
"Oh,
doctor's
yeah."
too old.
But I think he just wants to protect her by keeping the vampires away.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Yeah, just stay away. We're not going to meet again."
Oh, but they do because
Oh,
they have
but
some
I
weird
love you more
psychic
than
connection.
everything.
Yeah. How about the weird psychic connection that they
Is she
then
just
get?
imagining that?
No, that's real. They have a psychic connection now.
But
They're
did
bonded.
he did but Alice goes to see her, right?
It's like the worst
Because-
type of breaking up with your ex
Because
you can keep
because
seeing them.
Alice thinks that she's dead. Was
What?
that it?
Alice saw that she jumped off of the cliff. Yes.
And she told Edward, which is
Yes.
why he goes to kill himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But Edward was there in her. She saw an apparition of him. Was that actually him?
That was actually him.
Then
saying
why
not
did
to
he
jump
need
off.
Alice to tell her that he'd jumped?
He
She'd jumped?
seems to only see it when she's putting herself in danger.
Well, that's what I was not sure the whole way through if they actually did have some sort of connection. Because that didn't
they
make
did.
sense, right?
No.
Within the rules of the thing, because the whole thing is, as we find out through the film, not only can he not read her mind, but all their powers don't work on her.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
So that's why
Well,
I was
I
like,
think that's the thing.
That's why I was like,
Alice-
it can't
no,
be
no.
that he's
Alice
connected
could
to
see
her.
that the other people were going to her,
But-
but he could see that she jumped off the cliff, but Alice couldn't actually see that. That's why Alice had to then go see where she actually was. Don't you see? If Alice could see her stuff,
No, but
she
Alice
would've
sees
looked
the
into-
future, right?
Yes.
So she saw a vision of her throwing herself off and dying.
No, I
or
think-
hitting her head.
No, I think
But
she
I
saw
don't
the
think-
werewolves running around, the vampires trying to kill her.
Nah.
I'm pretty sure Edward saw.
That's
her
it. It
jumping
didn't
off.
make sense to me. I wasn't sure why Edward was turning up.
Yeah.
Because he shouldn't have been able to connect because she's immune to their powers. I honestly think
No,
I'm not
no,
sure-
That's not his power. That's because they bonded. See, it's totally different. You're talking about one rule
is
sets
it
of vampire
because they don't
powers.
talk about that at all.
That vampire
She
power
but
set's
she
totally
thinks
different.
he's seeing her,
No,
right?
No, she's actually seeing him.
Okay.
I think.
I'm going to be honest. 50-50, I think she's just nuts. And she's
Oh,
having it, and she's
wait,
having
wait,
like
wait,
a
wait.
schizophrenic break.
100% she's nuts.
Oh, she's nuts.
She's having a breakdown.
I
throughout
think
this
she's
entire film.
hallucinating him.
So-
I don't think he can see her at all. I think
don't-
he's hallucinating.
Honestly, I don't know.
And I think Alice was just keeping a check
well,
on her.
what happens is then she sulks in her room for like, God, how long?
6 months?
6 months.
So they leave, and it's not just sulking. She has become like super depressed. She's having night terrors. She's
She is
waking up
shit.
screaming and everything.
Shit to her friends the entire time. Like, though I will say, look,
Her poor school friends
She is
and her
going
poor
through-
dad. She shits all over them constantly, and they're constantly opening them up to her.
I do want to say though, it's like, yeah, if she's actually going through depression, then that's like,
But she treated them like that beforehand.
yeah, but she might actually have depression. It's quite questionable, but then you find out no, it's just because
She's a terrible, terrible person who will
No.
use
It's
everyone else around her.
you find out it's not actually depression. Women need man to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
The woman need man who doesn't want to be with her to be happy.
Oh yeah, true.
That's the weird part. Okay.
Women need man to be happy.
So the whole
then all
time-
depression go
Yeah.
disappears. So it's not. That's why I'm like, look, we're not like hating on like mental illness here or anything.
So
but
I
I don't
can't.
think it's that.
I can't remember the exact like events like
Uh-huh.
in order.
I can. I have them written down. It's a handy little bookie
Yeah,
here.
I don't write
what
down
what
notes.
events do you want? Oh, I got this one here. He's 109. How old is she?
See, oh well, she's
18.
17 when they
She's
start.
Yeah, right. That's fucked
Bit
up.
of an age gap.
Too
but
big
he's
of an age
always
gap.
17, Jared.
So he thinks that's apparently appropriate.
Well, they're constantly in school, so who else is he going to hook up with?
I don't
Right?
know. Well, she's gonna hook up with the Jacob.
Yeah, so
Well, she actually tries to hook. I didn't get what that was.
which
The other
bit?
guy.
So she starts doing the motorbike thing before she goes to the movies with her friends, yeah?
Which one? No, she goes out with her female friend first.
Yeah.
That's when she does the motorbike.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
she does it twice. So she goes out to with a movie with a friend, and her friend's just like constantly trying to talk to her and be friends with her, and Bella's just like, whatever, I don't like shopping. I'm not a normal girl.
Oh,
I'm
she's so
different."
painful. You're so painful, Bella.
But she sees some of the bikers who tried to rape her in the last movie, and she
Yeah.
like immediately jumps on the guy's bike and just starts going faster, faster.
yeah,
And that's
right.
how. That's when she starts seeing visions of
Edward.
Edward, and again, I'm not sure if it's crazy or if they're actually connected. You think they're connected? Maybe they are. I'm not going to look it up, and I'm not going to read the book.
She could just be
I
crazy.
couldn't tell from the movie.
She could be crazy. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
Like, at first I thought it was like him originally telling her not to do anything bad, but then they kept like they were clearly changing.
yeah.
They weren't static. They were like,
Anyway,
Yeah.
the biker gets freaked out by it because she's loony. He throws her off the bike and just like rides off to save himself. And she immediately walks back to the friend who has stayed there for like half an hour waiting for her to come back. Again, I feel terrible for the friends.
yeah, they're just terrible. During this entire time too, Edward's away. My like little theory here is he went off and started working at a lighthouse. Now, in the lighthouse, he would work with what's the other actor's name?
Defoe.
William Defoe. But the thing is, William Defoe would sleep during the day, and then our character Edward would be outside during the day, but no one would see him because they're on their little
Plus, it's
lighthouse
very
island.
overcast.
So my point is, I'm just trying to say the lighthouse and
But where
Twilight.
would he get the blood?
The what?
Where would he get blood to drink?
Birds.
Oh, that's why he keeps killing the birds.
That's why he keeps killing the birds.
Of course.
So I'm just saying to everyone out
And the
there.
mermaid makes more sense in their world.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Anyway,
I'm just saying to everyone out there that also the whole light and sun thing kind of is even more symbolic.
okay, let's try and get back on track.
My point is to probably the one listener out there who's also seen The Lighthouse and Twilight New Moon. I think they're the same characters. Moving on,
Just, 100 years apart.
I have she ditches the friend, and then I have she sulks in her room.
Again.
So
but
I
this
guess
is
we
where
could say
she
that
starts.
50
She
times.
starts to catch on. Yeah. You could say that a lot. This
Oh,
movie is
oh,
like 90% of
oh,
her
I got
screaming
one.
in her room.
no, I go yes. I wanted to get
What?
to that.
What?
Okay, so that's where I was still writing down. Maybe it's like she's got something she's really like. It's good to look. It's aimed at 16-year-olds girls. Is the book right? So it's good to show first loves, breakups, and stuff like that. Maybe not
But
good
she
to
does
show.
not handle this in a healthy way.
No. But it's maybe to show not to do that, but also probably not good to show like 100% dependence on a dude for your reason to live. But anyway, the whole thing then, it's not just that she's depressed or sad. She full on flips out at night. Like she'll be sleeping and she'll have night terrors of screaming. It's like that's not good.
Right.
It's a bit extreme.
I
thought they pushed it too far.
My thing was that this movie would have been better if it wasn't about her wanting Edward, but her just wanting to be immortal.
That is
Like that would have
literally
made
my
a lot of
next
sense
note.
because like most of her dreams are about her growing old and her being terrified of it. So
Yeah,
it's like, she just wants to be immortal,
She doesn't like Edward at all. As soon as
which
she
would
gets
make
bit,
sense because he's very unlikable.
Oh, that's so true. He'd be like, "Oh my God, Bella, it's so good we can be together forever." Together forever? No.
Anyway, she wants to see him again, even if it's just in her mind. So she starts a lot of thrill-seeking behavior, and to sort of her crowning achievement is to go to Jacob, the 16-year-old boy who's been fawning over for a couple of years.
With some motorcycles.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
fix
She
up.
brings some motorcycles and is like, build me a motorcycle so I can crash it into a tree.
Build me 2 motorcycles.
They actually get along, and it's the happiest you see her in any of the films so far. And Jacob seems nice.
Oh yeah.
Then,
She also says a really dumb line when she gets off that biker's bike. The friend's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And she goes, "I guess I'm cray now."
ugh.
She says, "Sorry, I guess I'm cray now, but that's okay." Ugh.
Anyway.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Get
we
me
meet
some bleach.
we meet some more of Jacob and his friends, and they seem nice
Now
and
Jacob
friendly.
is 16,
Yes.
which kind of excuses a lot of Jacob's weird behavior. To be
He's-
honest,
I keep imagining him from like some of the Adam Sandler films, like Ridiculous Six.
Yeah.
So whenever I hear him talk and like move around, I'm just like, he's just a
Hey,
goofball.
how weird was it when I found out all the actors they picked the right ages for when the movie came out?
I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
weird as
Was
fuck.
that weird?
Yeah, normally they just pick whoever kind of roughly looks correct. They don't.
None
really
of
care
the
about
other
ages.
vampires look the right age.
They were the right ages.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure Alice was. I think I only looked up Edward and Alice.
Anyway.
I just found that weird.
Okay.
It was like such a specific detail.
Well,
Like, what is
Okay.
this, Harry Potter? I don't know why. I don't know.
which was coming out around the same time,
Was
wasn't
it? Yeah, it
Yeah.
was way better though.
I've completely lost my train of thought, Jared.
They're at Jacobs and he's got motorcycles and friends and he's kind of normal.
Yeah,
He's
they put the
16 years old.
motorcycle together, and we find out there's some group running around.
Jumping off a giant
she almost
cliff.
gets killed by yeah. So the 2 vampires from the previous film who are still alive have decided to come and get revenge by killing her. Since she's not a vampire, they
Yeah.
can do that.
Mm-hmm.
She's saved the first time because a bunch of giant wolves turn up and kill these dudes. Or
Well,
kill
one of them.
And also, I think they've still been going around killing people. Like
The
they
vampires, yes.
yeah, there's like 5 dead people. So really, the Cullens have helped absolutely nobody. They've made things worse.
Yeah, that's where I side with the werewolves here. I agree. The Cullens are shit.
Yeah.
Do something, Cullens. Yep. The
Well-
vampires. What? Sorry.
You keep derailing my thoughts, Jared. Anyway,
What happens is, you know, when they're jumping off the cliff.
I forgot, because I think I blanked out halfway through this film.
No, I took notes. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
they see them on the way to the bikes, and there's this pack jumping off the cliff. Now, Jacob hasn't had his vampire. Damn it.
He's
Good
not a
n-
werewolf yet.
He hasn't had his werewolf period yet. Okay, so
He's about to get it.
he's about to get his first one, which
Yeah.
is a big moment in his life, but he doesn't understand what's going on. Apparently, he didn't know about the will.
Well, apparently in his tribe, some of them become werewolves.
Yeah.
And basically that means they turn into young shirtless dudes who just walk around smacking women.
And they all get tattoos.
Yeah.
That spanking women bit's important to get into. But
Were there any of the werewolves over the age of 20?
no, I was confused about that
Why
too.
were all the werewolves like young dudes? Is it that they're old but they look young like
Because
the vampires?
Bella wants to fuck him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're jumping off the side of this giant cliff. Now, if you know anything about
Cliff diving.
cliff diving, physics, and shit, that's fucking dangerous. How high up they were. If you fuck up, you will literally die.
At the same time, I've seen like tourist attractions that high.
that
Like,
was a really fucking high
Uh,
cliff, man.
I don't know.
That was a really, really
Yeah.
high cliff. That's not like a
At the same time, it
weekend
wasn't
jump off.
unbelievable. Like I could believe people doing that.
I think that was
Like a bunch of locals.
pushing the limits of.
Yeah.
I'm not like super into that stuff, but I'm
I
not
didn't think
totally
it was
sure.
that high.
It's
okay.
pretty high,
But
but it's a dangerous thing
so
to
she
jump
finally
off.
goes out to try out the bike
Yeah, and she fucks up
because she has no idea how to ride, and
she
she
drives
just
straight
puts
into a
her
tree.
foot straight onto the accelerator and slams and just crashes.
Somehow she keeps putting it into the next gear without her hand on the clutch and everything else like that. But whatever.
Whatever. Anyway, she decides to hang with her friends at school again. This movie just keeps dragging on. Because the whole thing is just her doing stupid shit and other people reacting to it.
Yes. I like the school bit. So she hangs with the white guy at school.
The nerdy, trying to be funny dude all
Yeah.
the time. Who
And-
I kind of just felt sorry for.
Yeah.
He's kind of pathetic.
He gets a rough a rough beating in this movie.
So he asked her out to a movie. She's like, okay, let's see that violent movie. And of course, like every teen boy, he's like, violence? Oh, that's
Yeah.
gross.
I've never seen a reaction that he gave. I've never seen that. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it's because anyone who would actually give that reaction obviously wouldn't be in that situation.
And it wasn't even that it was violent, it was an action movie. So
Yeah.
Bella wants to see an action movie because she's different.
Maybe, why didn't they say it was like a sword, like a gore film?
Yeah.
That
no,
would
it's
have
just an
made more
action
sense.
film.
A gore film, someone throwing up, yeah.
She doesn't
An
actually want to
action film?
date the guy, so she invites Jacob as well.
Yeah.
Jacob turns up, starts acting kind of weird.
Kind of lame.
I think the whole thing he's meant to be like acting alpha,
No, yeah,
but
well,
it comes across that he's just turned into a douchebag,
yeah, in
like
one
an
sense, though,
aggressive douchebag.
in one sense, it did make sense at that point
Because he's
why a
turning
16-year-old.
into a vamp, and he's
Yeah.
turning into a werewolf.
I
So
actually
he doesn't even know. I don't even know if he knows that he's a
Dude,
werewolf
I
yet.
think it was fine because he's 16. He thinks like she's his girlfriend, and he's trying to push off this other dude. Thought it was kind of reasonable.
Yeah.
And the other dude's like, "What the hell?" But anyway, the other dude gets sick. They
Yeah,
come
yeah,
out
the other
theater.
dude is like, apparently the action was so intense, is like throwing up,
Yeah.
and it's so weird.
I
And
wanna
that's
see that
your
movie.
favorite line of the movie.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So, Jacob goes, "What a marshmallow."
Oh, that wasn't it. What's your favorite line? Oh, he calls him a marshmallow. which
Oh
I
yeah.
guess
Sorry,
works.
I had to look down. I laugh at the gore that other people vomit at. I think it's like I
that
laugh
make
at the
other
gore
men
that
vomit.
make other men vomit.
And it's just it starts being really weird, and even Bella's like, "What are you on about?"
And then the dude comes. See, up there at that point,
At the
I was
same
like,
time,
I get it.
At the
get
same
it.
time, she's starting to be more attracted to him now that he's weird.
Well, I got it at that point. But then what happens is the
Oh, yeah,
white dude comes out, and now Jacob loses it because Jacob just randomly is like, fight, fight, fight. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And then Jacob runs off being like, oh, I don't understand myself. And
So weird.
so now so now
This is
Bella,
when Jacob suddenly Jacob becomes a lot more attractive to Bella because Jacob cuts her off and doesn't want to
Yeah.
talk to her. So Bella starts to throw herself.
so
at
now
him
we do what
because Bella is
yeah.
a psycho.
well, now we do what the film did for the first half again, where it's just Bella sulking and then being
And desperately trying to contact Jacob.
So eventually, of course, she goes to contact Jacob. Now, an important thing is, though, while this has been happening, she told her father that she saw the giant wolves and they're the ones who killed people.
I don't know if that's important, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. Because that's the reason why the Indian dude, I can't remember his name, the friend.
Yeah.
What's his name?
No, there's two now. So there's the chief and there's the guy in
Yes.
the wheelchair.
Yeah, that's why the chief gets killed.
Yeah. So the chief gets killed by the lady vampire.
Well, what happens is that
Bella
actually
jumps off a cliff around the same time.
No.
No, this is all happening at the same
Stop,
time.
You're jumping too much. What I'm trying to get to is that the cop is like, oh, well, guess we better go hunting for these werewolves,
Yeah.
and takes out the friend guy.
No, that's the chief. I don't think
What's
the
the
friend's
chief's
the one in the
name?
wheelchair.
What's the chief's name?
It doesn't matter.
Damn
He
it.
dies 10 minutes in.
Anyway, it's actually the best scene in this film, but 100% best scene in the film.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just setting up why they're out in the forest while this other stuff's happening. So we have now Bella goes to get Jacob. Goes into Jacob. Jacob's sleeping and all. No, actually, no. That's not the first time
Oh,
she goes to meet him.
Jared, see what I mean? This movie is a mess.
But it's because Bella goes to meet Jacob like 3 times. So Bella goes to meet Jacob, and he's running off into the forest or running to her. And anyway, of course it's raining, and he's only wearing pants and shoes.
Oh, yeah. All the vampire dudes just wear pants and shoes.
Werewolves, but yeah.
All the werewolf dudes just wear pants and shoes.
Uh-huh,
And,
yeah.
okay, so why don't they wear shirts, but they wear shoes? And they wear shorts. Like, the minute they transform, the shoes get shredded. And they transform multiple times. They must be going through so many shoes.
They have
like
so
clothes.
many shoes. The
But
local shoe
never,
store,
never different shirts.
dude, they must have so many points.
Oh my god.
They must have so many points on their cards.
Because they're not even wearing trashy like shorts or shoes.
No.
They
the-
just rip through so
The
many.
first
of them.
time she meets him, she's like, "Where have you been? You got a haircut and you got a tattoo?" And I'm like, "Yeah, oops, goddamn
He looks
hiccups."
a lot better with the haircut, actually.
Oh, looks way better with that haircut.
Yeah. So she heads out to the cliff to kill herself or
No,
jump.
there's actually a lot of other stuff that happens in
Ah,
between.
you know, I
There's
don't. You know what? There's a lot of crap
I
in this
think she
movie. You
continues
can just
this-
ignore.
okay,
Okay,
I
because
think-
okay, 90% of this film is her moping.
Alright, so I think there's a whole heap of things of her moping now. Can't remember. Honestly, my next one is just her going back to them again. That's why I got it mixed up. So she goes back to the cabin to meet them again,
Yeah.
and then she wants to blame it on the crew of dudes.
No, you've
Yeah.
got no. The chief getting attacked happens before that. Because she jumps and she gets pulled out, doesn't she?
No.
You know what? It
It has
doesn't
to
matter.
happen
It doesn't
after.
matter.
No. So she goes. This is kind of in. Wait.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter.
No. This hasn't happened yet. That hasn't happened. So she goes to the cabin, and for some reason she wants to be like, oh, that's right. She finds Jacob asleep.
Yeah.
So for some reason she skitzes it, runs out, and tries to attack the crew, saying like, "What have you done to him? What have you done to him?"
They're like, lady, what is your problem?
Yeah, they're
Okay?
like, "Hey, calm."
and she just
calm
immediately
down.
goes over and starts smacking one of the guys in the face.
Yeah, she slaps one. What the fuck?
That's not cool, man.
Now this isn't cool either. For some weird reason, he just loses it and turns into
Oh yeah,
a werewolf.
these guys have
Oh,
zero
oh,
self-control.
Oh my god, I forgot. Sorry. Okay. This is what drove us nuts. In this film,
Yeah.
I think by this time we had about 3 scenes with Jacob, and in those 3 scenes, they have again and again hinted that they're werewolves, talked about it, and I think the last one just before this.
Oh, in the last movie, he was talking about it as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing. In the last scene with these two, before this scene,
Mm.
before she physically sees him transform before her eyes, Jacob's like,
Oh, he's gone to her like twice and been like, "I can't tell you about it,
But you know who I am."
You should be able to figure this out." And we're like, "Yeah, he's a werewolf." Like,
yeah,
even without knowing what Twilight is about, and all the Team
but
Edward and
he
Jacob
says
shit
like
that's going on,
you know, and
y-
everything.
It's so easy to figure out that he's a werewolf.
It's so weird because
And
this confrontation
she-
scene.
I don't
Yeah.
understand why she hasn't figured it out. She is so dumb.
Well, it's weird because when she arrives and finds them asleep, I thought that's the one where she was going to be like, "Oh, you're a werewolf," but then it takes
She still hasn't figured it
it
out.
takes for the dude to transform for her to be like, "Oh, werewolves! What? How?
How have you
How
not?
didn't you know
Yeah,
this?
we was confused because I was like, didn't she already know this? Hasn't she worked this out yet?
Of course, Jacob saves her,
Yeah.
and she ends up going to the
And
werewolf
then actually it
hideout
turns
place.
out they're all friendly unless you annoy them, in which case they beat the
Well,
shit
the
out
dude
of you.
comes in and he's like, "Oh, sorry about that, Bella. I lost control." And then
Oh, by the way, this is my fiance. See how I scratched the crap out of her
yeah,
face?
see how half her face is fucking missing.
That's what happens when we get angry. So
Yeah.
don't make us angry
but
again,
she,
Bella.
but she loves me because
Because
that's
I
what
don't
true
think-
love is.
I don't think women become werewolves.
Yeah,
it's
but
just the dudes.
Hey, don't worry. That's what true love in this film is. Apparently, it's totally cool to abuse your spouse because if you love each other, you can make it through
She's
it.
in love with. I
That's
don't know
fucked.
how much
That
she
is
loves.
a fucked up message.
I don't know. I don't know how much she loves Jacob exactly, but she's definitely in love with Edward, who is a guy who confesses to the fact that he wants to rip her to pieces.
Yeah, this is a fucked up message.
And then you've got Jacob on the other hand, who's a super aggressive dude who also warns her that he might just snap and beat the shit out of her.
No, not to beat the shit out of them too. It's like they will kill you.
Yeah.
They will rip you apart. And she's like, "Ooh, hot."
Better than that marshmallow guy who might just try and make me laugh.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
coulda-
he's not funny, but, at least he won't beat the shit out of me.
Oh, it's crazy. I just have another note there. I'll just do want me to read it out. It's kind of important.
Go
it just says,
ahead.
I hate Edward and Bella.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have we gotten up to the part where she jumps off the cliff? Finally.
It's literally the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so we get the best scene in the movie. I will give some
Go on.
major credit to this film compared to I am really tripping
The
up on my
effects are
words.
better in this film.
The effects are far superior in this film. So we have a scene where they're hunting the vampire, okay? And the werewolves are running, and it's pretty cool. The werewolves actually look pretty cool. And we also have the chief and her dad are in the forest and they're hunting. What happens is the chief is like, "Oh shit, here they come" or something, and she goes to attack the chief, but then Jacob jumps in front, kicking the chief out of the way, unfortunately killing him. And like fighting her off instead, chasing her through the forest. It
Yeah.
was pretty cool. As music videos go, it looked pretty cool.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, so they chase
and
her off.
then
She jumps off a cliff somewhere else.
Bella decides to jump off. No, it's that same cliff.
Yeah, but it's a bit further down.
Yeah, she's just dumb. No, it's the same spot.
No. It's further down.
It has to be the same spot.
She swims to her. It's just a bit further across.
What?
That's all.
No, she didn't actually see the vampire.
No, the vampire swims at her.
No,
Are you sure?
I thought that too,
I'm
right?
pretty sure. I'm
Who
pretty
saved?
sure.
How does she get saved?
Uh,
Jacob pulls her out of the water.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
She definitely saw. Like it looked like the female vampire was swimming towards her, right?
Yeah.
But it couldn't have been.
Why not?
How did she get out of the water? Because the female vampire would have killed her.
Yeah, because Jacob jumps in. Yeah.
Jacob killed the female vampire. At
No,
that
but
point?
she saves Bella.
What?
He said, didn't Jacob save Bella?
Jacob saves Bella.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
The
vision.
vampire wasn't at the same cliff.
No, but remember how she jumps into. Okay, Bella jumps
You're
into the water.
confusing me.
Okay,
Okay,
wait.
You're actually confusing me.
Bella jumps into the water.
Yeah.
Yep. Then she realizes, like, the klutz she is, that, this is actually fucking dangerous.
Because I don't think she can swim.
Yeah.
Anyway, she gets slammed into the rocks and gets knocked out, doesn't
just
she?
before she gets slammed into the rocks, she turns around and she sees the female vampire coming at her.
Yeah.
And then she swims backwards and hits her head. The female vampire wasn't there, right?
No, she was.
She was?
Yes.
Why didn't she kill Bella?
Because Jacob turns up and saves her.
No, but that's a different cliff.
Why do you think these are different?
Because clearly the female vampire
I
would
don't
just
understand what you're saying.
What doesn't make sense is the female vampire underwater
Yes.
easily should just killed her.
Yes.
There's no way
because
Jacob could've-
turns up to save her.
He was at the same cliff?
There are multiple wolves, right?
Yes.
Jacob is saving Bella. The
No,
other wolves.
Jacob was chasing him. Jacob's the light brown wolf.
Okay, look. Unless you want to rewatch this,
Jacob's the
I'm not gonna
light
get
brown wolf.
Okay, unless you want to rewatch it, I'm not getting into
I
this
don't get
anymore.
what the fuck. Why is the vampire so
I'm just-
confusing?
Okay, Jacob saves Bella,
Yeah, Jacob
puts her
saves
in a
Bella.
car, and drives her to her home. And it turns out Alice is there, the normal vampire who I much prefer to Edward.
So her.
They-
I don't want to get to this.
Jacob and the vampire argue about treaties or something.
Yeah.
None of it makes any sense.
So we get.
It's literally just drive the plot treaty.
So
the vampires and wolves are eventually going to fight.
Edward calls him up, and Jacob answers and says he's going to a funeral, right?
Yeah, because the chief's dead.
Okay, because the chief's dead. Right. So now
Edward
Edward.
Edward now thinks that Bella is dead because in the visions that he or Alice saw, again, we're not entirely clear.
Okay, so I think what's happened
She looked
is,
like she was about to die.
I think the thing is Edward and Bella have a connection. So Edward,
I
for
know,
some
we're not
weird
getting into
reason,
this again.
Edward for some weird reason has a connection that he can see her when she's going to do something dangerous, not while or after, but only when.
See,
Antipotent.
none of it is explained. I don't care enough to look it up, and I'm not watching the film again.
And the thing is that
So, I
the
don't
futuristic vampire chick could
Let's
only
just
see.
talk about what happened.
Well, she can't see. She
Edward
can't
now
see
thinks,
Bella's future,
Edward
can she?
now thinks she is dead
But the
and
why is
Edward
Alice there?
decides to
Why is
kill
Alice there?
himself.
Why is Alice there?
because she received a vision of her dying.
No, she can't receive a vision of her dying.
No, but she doesn't see visions of her. She sees visions of the future.
Yeah, of the funeral. No, she can't have. None of the future can involve
This
Bella.
is just what she says, okay?
Bella fucks up the future. Wait
Ah.
a minute, she does get a future thing of Bella. Remember, she says she turns her.
multiple times.
What the fuck?
Jared, I don't know.
Then why
What
do
movie
some
are
of the
you
vampire
watching?
why do some of the vampire powers work in Bella and some of them don't?
I think it's the ones that directly affect someone,
Like pain,
like the memory thing. Okay,
Pain.
yeah. Okay, so again, just don't think about it because it's
Okay.
stupid.
But then she could have told Edward.
Oh my god, Jared, stop.
What the fuck?
Okay.
The fuck movie?
Anyway, Edward has now decided to kill herself. Alice
Just like
knows
what,
this.
Ethan? Just like what?
What? Romeo and Juliet?
Romeo and Juliet.
They can't contact him for some reason
Can I-
because
can
he
I-
doesn't have a phone.
I know we did point out the Romeo and Juliet, but I gotta say, it really
What?
is great that they hit that like bad movie cliche on the head, doing Shakespeare to that extent.
Eh.
But okay, so there's a secret
stupid.
society of vampires.
Oh yeah, is this where we get told about the vault? I think Edward mentions it earlier on. So there is I think they're like the oldest family, or it's like the closest thing they have to royalty. They call them, and they're the Voltaire, and they're like a super group of vampires who just seem like a regular group of vampires, but they're like boring evil. They're the best things in the film.
They eat American tourists.
They eat lots of people.
Lots of
They
tourists.
literally live in a crypt. How can you eat that many people and get away with it in a small town?
No, they must own the town.
Okay.
That is the only.
They're
thing I
literally
could think
eating
of.
like there's 4 of them and they're eating like 30 people in a sitting. Okay, that's too many. But
Yeah, I agree.
so Alice drives Bella to Italy. Which,
Is
there
it
you
Italy?
go.
Did they go Italy?
Yeah, it's in Italy.
Oh, okay, Italy.
Could you not tell?
I thought it was just some European place.
Yeah. They travel to what I think was Italy or
Some European place.
some European place now that I'm not too sure.
Edward was it
is-
Barcelona?
At
Wouldn't it be
first, Edward
Spain
goes.
and stuff?
So,
I don't
the
know.
Voltaire, the ones who enforce the rules, like that's
Yeah.
important. He
What are
goes to
their
them
rules?
to kill them.
Oh, just not to expose
You're not allowed to
yourself.
expose yourself as a vampire
And when they mean expose themselves, they mean literally
because they've all
show
got
your
that
dick.
sparkly shit.
They mean
So he goes to them and says, "Okay, my girlfriend's dead. Kill
they
me."
do it straight up.
They're
though.
like, "Why don't you just join us? You got a cool power.
yeah,
Just join us." He says no, and they're like, "Well, we're not just gonna kill you because you're stupid."
yeah. And he goes.
He goes off in a huff, and his whole thing, he's gonna walk out into a crowd and expose himself,
But just
and
show
they're
his
gonna have to
dick.
kill him. Which actually, they can't own the town because if they owned the town, they wouldn't care about him exposing himself.
No, I think it's a festival thing, though. They must have everyone in their person.
Whatever. The whole town, everyone's dressed up in red robes.
You know what else?
Of course, she gets to him before he exposes
Hey,
himself.
if some dude walked out naked,
Yeah.
and then you were like, "Oh, he's got glitter all over his skin."
I think he was cosplaying as Tobias Funke when he covers himself in diamond dust.
That's the thing. In these modern days, it's not that. I mean, it's weird, but to add on top of it. Oh, and he was also really shiny. Yeah, dude, he was covered in glitter. That's not that weird to add that on top.
Anyway, Bella stops it before he reveals himself, and they're brought before the Voltaire.
Mhm.
Voltaire.
And
One of them turns out to be Edward's ex.
What?
Well, they had some sort of history.
Dude, I didn't give a shit.
The Pain chick.
The pain.
The Voltaire, they're like so ridiculously over the top. They're actually kind of entertaining.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know what? There's no attempt. There's no attempt at like humanizing them. I know that's
and
probably
you know
not the
what?
right word for
They
them
make
because
the
they're vampires.
most sense out of everyone because they're just like, so you're running around with this human chick. Yeah. You don't want to join us. You're running around with this human chick. You know what? We're going to have to kill you guys because
Yeah.
you're obviously going to reveal everything
And
because
then
you're stupid.
But the weirdest
But
thing
then
is
Alice saves everyone by going, I see the future. Yeah, we're going to turn her.
change.
We're obviously going to turn
They're
her.
like, oh, cool.
Actually, you know what? She might have been bluffing.
Yeah, but they were like, oh, cool, Turner.
Yeah, that makes sense. You guys go away. We don't care anymore. Please don't come and see us again. Just turn her eventually.
Just Turner. Just turn
Something
her.
everyone except Edward wants at this point.
Yeah. What was I gonna say about them? The pain one.
This is where we find out that none of their powers
Oh,
work
none of
on
them work
Bella
on
for some
Bella, yeah.
reason.
Because she's different.
Anyway, they just head back to America, back to a house.
And they continue living together without having sex, which I.
No,
am
they're
saying-
not living together. She's still
What?
living with her dad.
Oh yeah.
They have a
Oh.
They have
oh,
a conversation where basically she's like, "Okay, you're gonna turn me now." It's like, "No, I'm gonna wait until we're married and you're 23." And she's
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, why?"
She loses the prospect of marriage. So here's the interesting thing. Hey, do you want to become a totally different species?
And he's like, "Okay, you're gonna have to wait till you're 23." And she's like, "Okay, yeah, I guess that kind of makes
she
sense."
was losing it at the idea of
it?
marriage. Yeah, she did
Yeah.
not like. That's the thing though. So
I don't think she lost it at the idea of
no,
marriage.
she
She's just
she was like
"Right,
thinking it's a
okay."
huge deal. But that's the thing. Okay, everyone, let's put two options out here. Which one is the bigger deal? becoming a vampire and immortal with superpowers, everything like that, getting married.
I like how the vampires still get married, even though they're like hellspawn
Yeah, but
abominations.
I'm just saying, it's like, which one's the bigger
Do they
deal?
get married in a church, or do you
Oh
think
my
it's like a
God.
state thing?
Well, it's like, which one's the bigger deal, okay? And you would normally say the vampire one, but then I had a little digging, just a little digging,
Right,
and I was
okay.
like, oh, this is probably why the marriage is such a big deal, and why they also haven't had sex, because they had to be celebrant in the other film. Remember when she tried to have sex with him? He flew back, and it looked like she pushed him back.
No,
not
he
the other
jumped
way.
back because he was worried about hurting her.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing whenever they have sex, he loses control completely and is gonna like kill her,
Yeah, true.
like strangle her to death, like just give in to his wants.
Well, the thing was, I was looking a little bit, and I was on Goodreads, and I was on the author's page, and she mentioned how she met her husband in like Sunday church and everything, then saw him many years later. I'm like, maybe she's really religious and has that whole no
Well,
sex
does that
till
make sense?
marriage.
Because I always thought religious people were into smut.
No, because she could be like religious, like no sex till marriage.
Okay,
Because it seems like this book so far is following the whole no sex till marriage thing pretty hardcore.
which is fine. Anyway,
And a lot of the other things of like, oh yeah, even if your dude's like a complete abusive asshole to you, stick by him because he's your only reason for existing. Also, kind of makes sense in this film.
this movie has bad messaging about staying
Wow.
with abusive dudes.
Bad messaging. Just, it's not great. Could be better.
Could definitely.
It could be much better.
Anyway,
Do we
as
have
they're
a
driving
single-
away, Jacob confronts the two
Do we have a single
and basically
relationship?
tells them
Yeah.
that he is going to keep trying to hook up with Bella, which does make sense because at no point does Bella do anything more than, I guess you're a good friend to him.
Yeah.
And she is clearly like willing to kill herself over Edwards. I don't know why he thinks he has a chance, but also, are they gonna? That they like Edward and Jacob are like straight up. We don't care what she thinks. We're gonna fight over you.
Yeah, she's an object to be
Fought over.
obtained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't get. There's something about the treaties the vampires and the werewolves have in place. So I think if they turn her there, they're gonna fight.
What?
Because the Cullens aren't allowed to
Oh,
drink human blood.
They're not allowed to drink human blood. And you pointed out rightfully at the time.
Why don't they just go to another town to do it?
Yeah. I mean, they were in
you've already
Italy the other
shown
week.
that these vampires have no problem leaving.
Yep.
Just don't be near the reservation when it happens.
But you know what? They're gonna. Actually, they're probably not gonna give an excuse. I was gonna say they're gonna give some lame excuse like the Cullens only vampires here. You know, it's like it's tradition that we only do it this way. But no, you're right. They're not gonna give an excuse. They're just gonna keep it going. Because how could you have three more movies?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think 3 more movies. Yeah,
That's a lot of movies to go through.
and we're gonna have to watch each and every one, Jared.
3?
Yeah,
But this should be resolved in
Oh,
the
maybe
next
there's-
one.
it should be resolved already.
No, the next one, she should get
Jacob,
married.
she should just sit them down, like we're gonna have a coffee and just go. You know what, Jacob? I'm your best friend, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. You're like a dog to me.
Friend, she treats him like a dog.
I know, that's why that'd be funny. That'd be funny. You're like a dog. You're like a cute little...
That's why I don't hate Jacob, because I just feel bad for the way he gets treated.
Jacob does become less likable, though, in this film.
Much less likable.
Is there anything else?
That's why the Team Edward and Team Jacob thing is so bizarre to me, because I'm just like, all these people should be in jail.
They all suck.
They should be alone for the rest of their lives.
Oh, the dad gets
Poor dad.
shit on the entire film. I guess more of his friends are dead, and Bella still is being a shit.
Hey, we don't even see the mom anymore.
Their mom phones up. I don't know. Have you noticed there's like no solid relationships in this film? The only ones I can think of is the vampire parents, I guess.
Yeah, no, the other vampires, I want to see their film. They seem normal.
Dude, no, we said this too. The Doctor Vampire, yeah?
Yeah.
His story of turning them and then keeping this teen thing of vampires.
He was
to
also
a,
part of the Voltaire for a bit.
that would
Also,
be sick.
why is he turning teens only, basically? He's got his wife right, but then the
Yeah.
rest of them are all teens. Did we talk about this last time?
I think
I feel
we
like
did.
I talked about
And
this a
I
lot.
think I agreed that I would only turn teens as well.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Anyway,
Bad point to end on again.
I can't think of... There's
It's
a lot
alright,
to
it's a
talk
great
about,
movie,
but
you
I don't
loved
wanna
it, you
talk
loved
about
it.
anymore.
Everyone, Twilight,
No.
great film. Go watch it, read the books, buy the merchandise, bobbleheads, all that stuff.
So you team Jacob or team Edward, Jared? You know what? We'll wait
Dude,
till the
I
next
don't-
film.
it doesn't
we'll have
even
to watch
feel-
the next film
It
first.
doesn't feel like Jacob has a go in the game, has
like
a
a
card in the
realistic
game.
chance at
He
this
doesn't
point.
have a chance in this point. Like without even like knowing, like I know what, like we know what kind of happens later on, but how could you possibly be like, oh yeah, Jacob's gonna win the
He's
no chance?
delusional.
He's never had a chance, ever. She's always just wanted that immortality dick.
Yeah.
That's it, because she's different.
All right.
That's the film, everyone. We hope you love Twilight 2 New Moon. They,
New Moon.
man, people got mad shit crazy at me calling Twilight New Moon Twilight 2. People are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's Twilight New Moon. It's Twilight 2. It's the second one in
Jared,
the
just
order.
why can't we just have Twilight 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Right?
There we go.
Like Star Wars.
All right.
Thanks for listening to The End of the Reel. If you know anyone else who is a fan of good bad movies, share this podcast around to them. Sharing is the best way to help promote our podcast.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.